Hey, Margie here. Welcome to the Wake Up, Pray Up, Boss Up podcast, the show that helps Christian moms prioritize their physical and mental health so they can boldly step into God's calling. I'm your host, Margie Ruiz. Hey, Margie here. Welcome to another episode of the Wake Up, Pray Up, Boss Up podcast. I'm so glad you're here, especially this week. If I can be honest with you, this has been a really tough one for me. Without going into too much detail, I've been walking through some pretty heavy things with my family right now. And just a few days ago, I lost someone really close to me. It's been emotional. It's been exhausting. It's been a week that could have easily knocked me down. And I'll be honest, for a moment it did. Last Friday, I wanted to stay under the covers all day. I set the alarm to go to the gym. I couldn't do it. I turned it off. I got back in bed. I gave myself the grace to take those extra few minutes. But instead of staying in bed, I make myself get up. And I walked to the beach. It wasn't my usual gym workout. It wasn't a big victory. No records were broken. But it was a small step, and that's what I want to talk about today. Because this week is Holy Week. A sacred time to reflect on the suffering of Jesus, his sacrifice, his humanity, his pain, and his resurrection. Jesus knows what it means to suffer. He knows what it's like to be betrayed, exhausted, misunderstood, and deeply grieved. He knows what it feels like to pray, God, please take this cup away from me. But guess what? He also knows what it means to rise. So today, I want to speak to anyone who is going through something heavy. Whether you're grieving, hurting, or walking through the unknown, please remember that you are not alone. And friend, trust me, you will rise. I chose this verse for the week, Hebrews 4:15, because I want to remind you that Jesus was human. And he went through some of the same challenges that we go through every day. And it says, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who was tempted in every way, just as we are. Yet he did not sin. He stayed strong." Jesus gets it. He gets you. And here's something else to remember this Holy Week. I want you to remember that things can change really quickly. How quickly can things change? Like this. On Palm Sunday, Jesus was welcomed into Jerusalem like a king. People laid down palm branches, which is what they used to do for kings. It was a royal gesture, and they were shouting, "Hosanna," which means "save us now," or "please save us, Messiah." It was both a plea for salvation and an acknowledgement of his kingship, even if they didn't fully understand what kind of king he would be. But then, just days later, the same crowd that was celebrating him were shouting, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Unbelievable, right? What changed? Their expectations. See, they expected like a political hero, a god, a revolutionary leader. But Jesus wasn't that, was he? He didn't act the way they wanted him to. So they turned on him. He was just a carpenter, just a man, just too ordinary. And yet, after the suffering of the cross, 3 days later came resurrection. Friend, maybe the people around you don't understand your journey. Maybe they were cheering you on once, and now they've gone silent. But the same God who raised Jesus from the grave is the same God who can raise you from your pain. Tim Keller said, "Suffering is unbearable if you aren't certain that God is for you and with you." You can rise again, but you have to care for yourself in the valley so you're strong enough to walk out when the stone rolls away. Here are 3 clicks to care for yourself when life just hurts. Click number 1, wake up. Acknowledge the pain, but don't let it define you. You don't have to pretend you're okay. Even Jesus asked for another way, remember? There is space in our faith to cry, to grieve, and to say, "God, this freaking hurts. But there's also a moment when we choose to get up anyway. Last week, I gave myself permission to rest, but then I got up. I walked on the beach. I moved my body. I breathed in salty air. I know I live in Florida. Not everybody can do that, but get out in nature is the point, right? It wasn't my usual morning routine, but it was exactly what my body, my mind, and my soul needed. It reminded me I'm still here, that even in grief and chaos, I can show up for myself. You can too. Research shows that even 10 to 15 minutes of movement or fresh air helps reset our nervous systems and boost resilience. And sometimes what changes everything isn't a breakthrough moment. It's a quiet decision to keep going. Your challenge for this click? What is your beach walk this week? What is one small thing you can do to say, I'm still here, I'm still standing? Click number 2, pray up. Let God hold what you can't. You don't have to carry all of this. Some of the most powerful prayers I've prayed have been almost a whisper. God, help me. And you know what? Sometimes that's enough. There's no weakness in needing God. That is the strength. My favorite way to pray when my brain is overwhelmed is my 10-5-5 formula. 10 things you're grateful for, 5 things I need to let go and let God, and 5 prayer requests. It's fast, it's grounding, and it reminds me of who I am and whose I am. Your challenge? Start or end your day with the 10-5-5 formula this week. If you haven't downloaded it yet, you can grab it for free at margieruiz.com. Click number 3, boss up. Care for yourself like you're preparing to rise. When you're in a hard season, it's tempting to let everything slide. But self-care in a storm is not selfish. It's strategic. Jesus didn't go to the cross without preparing. He rested, he prayed, and he surrounded himself with his people, even when they fell asleep on him. Taking care of yourself is how you fight. It's how you say, I still believe I'm coming out of this. Romans 8:18 says, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. You need to believe that. The other day, I felt myself slipping away. It's been a rough week. I was on the edge of tears, spiraling into all the things that weren't working. Instead of giving in, I paused. I filled my water bottle, played a worship song, and just sat outside in silence. When was the last time you were quiet? Listen, that 10 minutes didn't fix my life, but it gave me enough strength to keep going. You don't have to pretend everything is okay, but you don't have to surrender to despair either. Your challenge? What's one act of self-care this week that says, I still believe in resurrection? Friend, if you are in a Good Friday kind of season, I want to remind you that Sunday is still coming. You will rise. Do me a favor, take a deep breath right now and let it out slowly. Do it again. And one last time. Put your hands on your heart for me and say, I will rise. Even if you don't feel it, even if nothing has changed yet. Say it again, I will rise. Because sis, Sunday is coming. Not because you're strong on your own, but because the same power that raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. If this episode brought you peace, hope, or even a breath of fresh air, would you share it with a friend? Someone out there needs this reminder that they're not alone either. Until next time, take care of your soul, give yourself grace, and remember to wake up, pray up, and boss up every single day. Have a blessed and happy Easter. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Hey, if you enjoyed the episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, shout it from the rooftops, leave a rating and a review, all the things. And to catch the latest from me, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at margie.gp6 or go to my website at margieruiz.com and make sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Bye.